Have you ever looked at someone else's progress and quietly wondered, why am I still so far behind? Taro, a young tortoise, asked himself that question almost every day. He carried herbs and healing leaves through the forest. He was careful. He was dependable, but he was slow. And whenever the animals praised Suri, the snake courier, Taro felt smaller. Suri moved smoothly between roots and stones. She finished her deliveries quickly. Taro, one squirrel joked, Suri could make 2 trips before you finish one. The animals laughed. Taro smiled too, but that night, he made a painful decision. He would stop moving like a tortoise. He would move like Suri. The next morning, Taro skipped his usual water break. He rushed through a narrow shortcut filled with sharp stones. By the time he arrived, his legs were shaking. Several herbs had been crushed. Still, he told himself, at least I was faster. That evening, he scratched a small line into the edge of his shell, a mark of progress, or so he thought. The next day, he rushed again. Another bag tore open. More leaves scattered across the ground. Another scratch appeared on his shell. Soon, Taro had many marks, but he was not becoming stronger. He was only becoming more tired. Then, one hot afternoon, a bird flew toward him in panic. Taro, please hurry. The hatchlings on the dry ridge need cooling moss from the marsh. Suri was far away. Taro was the closest courier. This was his chance to prove himself. He gathered the moss and started along the safe trail. But halfway there, he noticed Suri's shortcut. Loose black stones, a steep slope, a dangerous path for a tortoise. Taro hesitated. Then he heard the squirrel's joke in his mind. Suri could make 2 trips. So he turned toward the shortcut. A stone rolled beneath his foot. Taro slipped. The moss flew from his bag. His shell struck the ground with a sharp crack. By the time he reached the ridge, the hatchlings were safe, but weak and exhausted. The birds thanked him gently. Taro lowered his head. He knew the truth. Trying to look fast had made him arrive late. That evening, he sat beside the marsh and studied the scratches on his shell. They no longer looked like progress. They looked like proof that he had been hurting himself, just to become someone else. Taro dropped the sharp pebble into the water. The next morning, he made a smaller decision. He left earlier, he carried less. He chose the safer path, and everything arrived in good condition. It was not dramatic, but it worked. A few days later, Taro heard the animals praising Suri again. The old shame returned. For a moment, he almost rushed. Then he stopped, took a breath, and continued along his own path. That was his real progress. Not becoming faster than Suri, becoming wiser than the tortoise he used to be. Soon, the animals began saying something new. If Taro carries it, it will arrive safely. One evening, Suri rested beside him and smiled. You know, she said, I move quickly, but I could never carry what you carry the way you do. Taro smiled back. For the first time, he was proud to be a tortoise. And maybe you need to hear this today. Your life may not be moving too slowly. You may simply be measuring it against someone else's road. Do not damage yourself trying to copy another person's speed. Your pace is not your weakness when you learn how to use it wisely. If this story spoke to you, like the video, subscribe to Tales by Mika, and share it with someone who has been too hard on themselves lately. Then tell me in the comments what part of your journey Are you finally learning to accept?